This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first two guests today are both from NEMSCA. I have Heidi Powers and Madeline Hibner. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. It's such a privilege to be here again.
Well, thanks for coming, and it's just been a long time since I've had anyone from NEMSCA.
It has.
So start me out and tell me what we're going to talk about today.
Well, today I would like to talk about our foster grandparent and our senior companion volunteer programs.
Okay.
And next to me is Madeline, and she is a foster grandparent. So the foster grandparent and senior companion programs recruit older individuals, 55 years old and older, in volunteer service. So our foster grandparents, they're not fostering kids in their home. They're classroom grandparents. So they're in the schools, in the classroom, providing a little extra help to the kids. Senior companions are volunteers also, and they're providing peer-to-peer companionship to other older adults who might be at risk of social isolation. So they're a friendly visitor. And in return for their volunteer service, they're receiving an hourly stipend, mileage reimbursement, meals on their days of service, and many other benefits. So
okay.
There's a great advantage to being a volunteer with NEMSCA, and that's just two of many of our volunteer opportunities.
And you know, Heidi, when you say risk of social isolation with COVID, I mean, that has to be a factor.
It's a huge factor, and you know, I think when we emerge from this pandemic that we're really going to find out what that's all about, because you know, our volunteers are older adults, they're in that at-risk group, and then the seniors themselves are
Right.
at risk of COVID disease and the adverse effects. So our companions are not serving because of that high-risk capacity, and I think we're going to be in for a real rude awakening, and our need for more volunteers to give of themselves to visit other older adults, the need's going to be great.
Scary.
It's scary.
But something that's not scary is being a foster grandmother in the classroom.
Oh, no. We weren't allowed to come back until February, and your heart just aches to be with the children, because I've done it now for 5 years, and not only do I benefit, but the children, we help them with their math and their reading and whatever. And when they look up at you and say, "Oh, Grandma, I understand now," or "Grandma, come and sit with me," or "Grandma, are you going to be here tomorrow?" Today when I left to come here, there was, "Grandma, where are you going? How come you're going? Why aren't you with us?" And it's just such a joy. Before I started, I was very depressed. I stayed home. I never worked out, and my friend told me, she says, "Join Grandma's." And I says, "No, they won't need me. They don't, you know, what am I going to teach a child?" Well, the kids, I think, benefit from us, but oh, what we benefit from them. It's put a spark in my life. I feel like getting up in the morning now. I feel like doing something, and it's just great. And nobody has to say, "Well, I can't do it," because just giving love to kids is the whole thing. It's just wonderful.
Well, you weren't supposed to make me cry, but holy smokes.
This is goosebump
I know, it
territory,
gives you goosebumps,
isn't it?
and I mean, just to think of the blessing in your life and the blessing in their
Yes.
life. I mean, to have someone come in and work with, you said you work with the kindergarten class.
Yes, I'm in
To work
kindergarten.
with that class, those young minds, those informative minds, that's where they're going to decide if they like school or don't like school, and,
Right.
and how they progress in the future years. So to have someone like you in there, how wonderful.
Well, we also have a grandma in our 4th grade, and you would think 4th graders, you know, they'd say, you know, but they just love her. The other day, she was telling me, one little child told her, he says, "Grandma, can I have a hug?" So even in 4th grade, no matter what grade you're in, they want you. And you walk down the halls and it's, "Hi, Grandma, what you doing, Grandma?" And it's so wonderful. It just makes you feel, and it's not only the children. I'm at a grandma at Wilson School, and it's a family. I told them I was going to be on today, and I told them, and they said, everyone says, well, I'll watch, let us know when you're going to be on, we're going to watch. It's like a community. It's wonderful. I can't say enough, and I hope more people try it because it's just great.
Now, how often do you go to Wilson School?
I go 4 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I go all day long.
Wow.
So, and, but you can pick your time. I mean, you don't have to be just any day if you have a day off or want a day off or something. And this one, she is great. I mean, for a boss, I mean, she is great. You call her up and ask her any questions, and she's got an answer for you. So, like I say, she's just great.
Well, she sold me. How do people sign up?
Give us a call, please. We have a toll-free number, 877-222-9043. And give us a call and let us know that you'd like more information.
And then what counties do you cover?
We cover the 12 counties of Northeast Michigan.
Wow.
So we're going to go from Sheboygan down to Roscommon, all the way over to Lake Huron, and we're going to pick up Aranac County as well.
Wow. So you have foster grandparents in schools in all of those areas?
Most of those areas,
Okay.
yes. We do have areas that don't, and they want them, and we want them. So if you're willing to be the first in your neighborhood to do something like this, we want you to be the first.
And the Senior Companion Program, are there any limitations or restrictions or anything?
Just, you know, like foster grandparents, be able to pass a background check.
Okay.
There is an eligibility component, but we'll go over that on the phone when you call.
Okay. All right. And so you highly recommend the program. And
yes.
you wanted to mention just briefly today, too, Heidi, the RSVP program.
Yes. So if the service of being in the school or being a companion don't interest you, but you're still interested in being active in the community, we do have the Retired and Senior Volunteer Program for older adults, and we are increasing our footprint in general volunteerism. So if you're not an older adult and you want to volunteer, give us a call for that as well, because we want to be the local experts for all volunteerism for all ages and every opportunity.
Okay, and once again, a phone number to contact you.
The phone number is 877-222-9043.
And thank you so much, Madeline, for your service and what you do. So exciting to hear you talk about it, and give a shout out to all the people at Wilson School. Thank you so much for everything you do out there too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nancy.
I'll be right back with BJ Sanders from Alpena Senior Citizen Center following these messages. Hi, welcome back. As promised, I'm with BJ Sanders from the Alpena Senior Center. Hi, BJ.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and as we talked just before we started taping, even though your center is still closed, you're as busy as ever and you're providing tons of services for your seniors.
We do, and we joke about it all the time that we are so much, it seems like we're so much busier being closed with no one in the center than we were before, because we're always working towards what can we do next for the senior population. Our programs that we're doing on Zoom are just really doing amazing. My exercise class, 15 to 20 people, Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Zoom. Our book club is just really blossoming. That's just been amazing. We do that every Thursday from 11:30 to 12:30 via Zoom.
Okay.
And we're always working with nutrition in mind. So the book that we're doing right now is The Mind-Gut Connection. And the women that are participating in this group are just absolutely amazing. We developed a Facebook page for them. They're the ones that really do all the postings. They share recipes. They support each other. It's just awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And so, and your congregate meals, of course, are not happening now, but people can still come and pick up meals.
They can, and you wouldn't even believe how wonderful that's doing. So curbside meals, that's what we call them, are curbside meals. You call before 10 o'clock Monday through Friday. We even have a meal prepared for you when you come. You can even get 3 on the weekends or 4 on the weekends to take care of your meals for that. And the numbers of seniors that are participating in that are amazing. You know, prior to closing because of COVID, it wasn't unusual for our evening meal to have very few people in the center having their evening meal. And this curbside meal, 40, 50 people coming in to
Wow.
pick up meals. It's just awesome.
I know I picked up meals for my mom and I and her neighbor for St. Patrick's Day,
Oh,
which was
yeah.
a fabulous meal. And I had to wait in line to get in there and get our meal. There were so many people.
Yeah, we've got that down pat too, because you know when we did our first one, we had cars parked way or in line way down on River Street, but now we've got it really. We've got it down pat where people don't have to sit in line that long.
No, and I mean, somebody walked out the door, handed me a bag, I handed them the money, and off we went. It was perfect.
And between that, on the holiday meals, between the curbside pickup and Meals on Wheels, 500 meals.
Wow.
500 meals a day.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So what other services are still being offered?
I'm going to tell you this way. The only thing that we're not doing at the center right now is playing cards and playing bingo.
Okay.
Everything else is being done. Meals on Wheels, Michael's department, in-home services, that's all being done. My exercise class is being done on Zoom. Everything else we're doing. We're just doing it without people coming into the center.
Okay, Meals on Wheels, obviously very important always, but during the pandemic more important because of the isolation of seniors. So it's someone going to their home on a daily basis and dropping off a meal and doing welfare checks.
Yes, absolutely. Plus, we've got a group of people, really the kitchen staff are the ones that continuously are really good about it. Everybody got a list of names at the beginning of COVID. Make phone calls, send them a card, just call and say hi, how are you? That's absolutely being done. And my exercise class, it's really, really cool to watch on Zoom, going back to the Brady Bunch. Remember the Brady Bunch with the windows?
All the pictures.
So most of my class come on 15 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes early, and they socialize with each other.
Oh, perfect.
It's just awesome. It works. It's working out really, really well.
Okay, and what's happening in the greenhouse and the garden areas?
Oh, goodness. We are going to have a garden this year.
Okay.
I'm planning on having a big garden this year, so I'm excited about that. We finally got, I don't know if I told you this before, but we finally got heat in the greenhouse at the beginning of the year, so that's been amazing. So working on seedlings to get in the ground whenever the weather improves just a little bit.
A great amount. Now, in the past, you've worked with other agencies out in the garden, like with ACES Academy. Is that in the plans for this year again, or?
Yeah, we're going to have to be careful. You know, I'm a master gardener, and master gardening is through MSU Extension, and they're not doing face-to-face. So I'm going to have to be careful. Our garden is a master gardener program. So I'm going to have to be careful with that and make sure that we follow all the guidelines, but we can do, yeah.
Okay, and where are you with volunteers right now?
I was listening to the ladies prior to me, and how touching was that. But we haven't, because we've been closed, we haven't had volunteers in the center.
Okay.
I had some master gardener volunteers, our first garden that we did that was amazing. But we're not quite there yet with volunteers, bringing volunteers into the center.
All right, so if someone's interested in doing the curbside meals, they have to call before 10 o'clock the day they want their meal, and they pull up, and what's the suggested price for the meals?
If you're 60 years and older, it's $3.50 for a suggested donation.
Okay.
If you don't have any money, that's okay too.
Okay.
If you're under the age of 60, it's $7.
Okay. And how do you find out what's on the menu for that day?
So you can access our menu via our website, via our Facebook page, or you can stop by the center and we'll bring out a newsletter. And our newsletters are always amazing anyways.
Okay.
So stop by the center and we'll bring one out to you. We continue on with our DME, our durable medical equipment.
That was going to be my next question.
So we continue on with that, and again, there's always someone sitting at the front desk. So when you pull up, we'll open the door and ask what you need, and if we have it, we'll bring it to you. Or you can call the center and ask if we have it and make an appointment to come by and pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you and the staff and everyone for keeping those services still ongoing, regardless of what we're going through. And we'll look forward to the day when you can open and those people can come back in and do bingo and play cards and get that face-to-face socialization that's so important for everyone.
Yes.
And BJ, a phone number to call if anyone has any questions.
989-356-3585.
Thank you so very much for being here. Tell everyone we said hello, and I'll see you soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College. Pleased to have as our guest this morning ACC men's basketball coach Bobby Allen. Welcome, Bobby.
Thanks for having me.
Well, this is great news as far as I'm concerned that you're stepping into the men's basketball role. Coach Mark Jacobs had it and did a wonderful job for a number of years, and then prior to that, Frank McCourt had it and did a wonderful job for many, many years. Yeah. So, welcome aboard. What's your thoughts here as you begin this new role?
Well, you know, I think about things, and I think about Coach Jacobs, and I think about Coach Frank, what they brought to the sports world, and that's kind of going to be a tough job to fill. Mark was very energetic, very caring about the kids, and Frank is just that he was a go-getter, and so I have to I'm learning from two of the best, you know. And then I'm also going to give a little shout out to Coach Marweed as well for the 2 years that he was here. He did a wonderful job. Him and Mark worked well together when I wasn't there. And I think having that and seeing those guys work as hard as they did only make me want to work harder.
Wonderful, and thank you for the shout out for Coach Marweed. He did do a wonderful job. And you were a wonderful player at ACC, and you've been tied to ACC for, what, 30 years now?
28, almost.
28 years. 28. So, you know, you must have your heart in a place, and you must also have your heart into helping kids. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, yes. I mean, ACC gave me a chance back in '88, and a kid from the city, and would not know too much direction, but ACC is a place where you can come get your direction with your education. First and foremost is your education, because without that, you can't go further in life. You know, you got to get that education. And they gave me that chance and that opportunity to strive with the basketball part of it as well. And once again, I had Frank as my coach when I was a sophomore. So I mean, just giving chances to these kids out here that need it and need some guidance. So I think ACC has always been that, from grade-wise to helping kids move on. I think we do a good job with that. So, and I think this past year, working with Coach DeRosa, she was always on the girls about the schooling, the guys about the schooling, because she want the kids to look good. It wasn't about us as coaches, it was about these kids looking good and they moving further in life. So I think the coaches here are doing a good job. And I put our coaches up against any coaches in the league, West, East, when it comes to our education. I think our education is very good.
Well, Bobby, I'm glad to hear you say that. I know you believe it, and there was a number of things in there that are good. I do agree with you that we have a great crop of coaches. You're in that group. And I also commend your approach and their approach about the education of our students and helping them get from point A to point B. Frank and I often talked about this, and I know Coach Jacobs and I did too. We have not had too many pros, come through our program, and most community colleges don't. Yep. So the emphasis really needs to be on helping students, giving them a chance, helping them establish some structure in their life that helps them long term. And you had referenced in an earlier conversation about the influence your mom has on you and had on your decision here. Are you care to speak to that at all?
Yes. Well, you always go back to the source. You go back to that person that's in your life that guides you. My mom been guiding me since I've been in Alpena. Ever since when I was in Flint, she was guiding me, making sure I was making the right decisions. And so when this part came up, she knew I was in between whether I wanted to come back or whether I wanted to go. And she just told me, it's not about you. It's about these kids that you've been helping. Since you've been here over the 28 years, how many relationships you have built and how many kids have moved on. So I think her giving me that wisdom, I think it was a it was an easy decision to come back and just to help out. And I think the coaches here, as you look at their programs, they're doing awesome. We getting better. Our cross country team, awesome from Coach Jacob. The softball team, awesome, and they doing and they doing well. So I mean, our volleyball doing well. Sarah's doing great. And I think Coach is gonna do a heck of a job with the girls. And so I mean, we're getting there. We getting there. I want to get back till when I first came here, when we was like number 2 in the nation in defense, and we gave up the 40 points, and we packed the house, and we still get crowds whether we win or lose. And it's not about the win or losses with me. It's just about building character.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. I agree with that. And yeah, the pandemic, of course, has really changed things. And but there were people that wanted to come and watch this year's team play, and this year's team was good. I think they could compete with. Well, they competed well with Mott. Mott was in the running for the national championship.
Yes, they did well with them, especially with down there. That was one. Them guys, man, them guys, I think I almost had a heart attack down there. They was playing so good. So, I mean, I know it's things of that nature that that we need to build on for this coming year. But just the one thing that's holding us back is that the pandemic, the COVID-19. So, I mean, I'm not a scientist or anything. I know when I talk to kids and, the family is hesitant about moving forward, and what about what if, we're not doing the what if. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna live our lives the best that we can, and we'll take all these precautions as we get there. But I think we'll do well.
I think we will too. As you are one of 2 people that have their numbers retired at ACC or hangs in the gym there, and having been on the court against you, I can see why that is. And you have many years of experience in the league. You know the coaches. There are some of the top coaches that have been there for a long time. This has to help you, I would think.
Yeah, and I talk to them, and just try to get the, I can't travel like everywhere like by myself, and I'm still looking for that assistant coach to help me out. And just getting on the phone, like after work, I get off of work at 4:30. I take an hour to calm down from that job, and I'm on the phone until about like 9 every day since Coach DeRozier gave me that okay to move forward. And I've been on the phone. I get rejected. I keep pushing, and I'm never gonna get disappointed because someone tells me no. It's just a business, but I'm moving there. I'm getting there. I'm moving forward. I get some disappointments, but I know how to beg in a sense that don't act all out, but. We'll get there. Like I said, I'm coming in. I didn't get a chance to see the high school play, and Coach gave me a list of kids I'm looking at. So I mean, I'm doing his, and I'm getting mine, and I'm talking to my guys downstate to see if there's something out there. And it's going, just want to make sure I'm doing things the right way, because my crutch was Coach DeRozier, because she was there with the financial aid, the housing, and all these things. And now it's me with the housing, and I learned from her what the things I have to do. So it's not always something bad or not great, but I think she did a good job by mentoring me, making sure that the guy's gonna get to school. Got the financial aid, got a place to stay, the food, everything. So I mean, it'll be different, and but at the same time, I respect those girls. They made me understand a lot about myself, about how to be patient. Be calm, and expect, not gonna be great every day, but they still gonna go out there and give you an effort.
Bobby, thank you, and you'll do a great job, and you'll represent yourself and the college well, and you'll do a great job for these students. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.